buff up like bluegill warriors so that they can trade with things that are a little bit higher than them.
Yeah, it definitely provides extra burst, but I'm not too sure how effective that will be.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see, right? So with that, Nourish coming out on turn 5 is definitely very strong. Definitely, gaining 2 mana crystals. Nourishing? No, he's not. All right.
Yeah, Druid's definitely taking the initiative to get all the ramp they can.
Yeah, and it looks like this is going to lead very well into an Emperor Thaurissan turn. And honestly, I don't think he's too stressed to try to go for card advantage here, because he does have access to, you know, a fairly low casting Wrath if he plays the Emperor, Raven Idol, and as well as a Feral Rage to go along with that Gadgetzan Auctioneer there.
Yeah, I definitely think the Gadgetzan will come down soon. Definitely cycle a lot of cards, and hopefully if the Emperor sticks, which probably won't because we have double bluegill in the hand of Emerson, but it could provide a lot of value.
I mean, what we're looking at here is possibly a 0 mana Solemn Vigil. So that has to be pretty huge here.
Yeah, it'll really help out Emerson to collect their combo and possibly win off the back of that.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing now is that the only real problem I can see, that's also a very upsetting draw. If I know anything about any Finn Paladin, is that usually there's a Finja somewhere in the deck list, and seeing a Murloc War Leader and both Bluegills so early on is, you know, definitely very good for the anything can happen later, but is definitely very bad for the Finja draw. It makes the Finja draw just makes it a dead draw, and it's kind of awkward to see it later. It's like, I'm going to get some Murlocs for my deck. Nope, because there's none left.
So I really like the play coming out from the Druid here with the early aggression to kind of ramp up and try to get tempo before really Emerson could get their combo off. Kind of fell flat late game, but hopefully this Gadgetzan will help cycle to possibly provide them enough resources to definitely get the tempo going again.
Right. And looking at some of the cards that he's picked up, he picked up a Mulch, which is very good, especially for a lot of the high health minions that Paladin is going to be playing, like Ragnaros, Light Lord, that is currently sitting in Bash's hand. But we also take a look at, you know, a lot of the other stuff he picked up from those draws. We see Swipe, we see Fandral, Staghelm, Mire Keeper. Like, these are lots of good cards to be holding on to, especially at this stage in the game. Like, being able to play a Feral Rage, gain 4 attack and 8 armor means that he's going to be able to trade with literally anything that Bash would be able to play. Azure Drake now being picked up once again for Gehenna.
The obvious play here is probably Drake Swipe.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You also get to draw a card off of that, which is very good.
2 cards, actually.
2 cards, yeah. I remember what Azure Drake does. All right. Swipe coming across here. It does mean a little bit more value for Bash here. I mean, for Gehenna, because he is going to be able to receive the healing off of the thing, but I don't think that's going to matter too much.
Really what Druid wants to do here is stake as many things on the board as possible.
Yeah.
Because that's how they'll win, even though, like, Paladin will just keep healing up, so they need to really get enough pressure on board to eventually push tons of damage in one turn.
Right. And taking a look at Gehenna's hand here, he did pick up the Malagos, which is definitely a huge draw. And he does have access to Living Roots and Moonfire in his hand, and that's 13 points of damage. But he is going to, like we said, he's definitely... Ooh.
Just needs to...
oh, hello there.
Find the Coon and then...
Yeah.
Probably be able to get a pretty sweet combo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Now that we see that there's an Aviana in here. All right. Mire Keeper's coming down. That's probably going to make it 2-2.
Yep. He's opting not to play the Phantom this turn. Save it for more value later.
Yeah. I mean, I think I might have played the Fandral here just because, like, there's only, like, a couple cards in here, like, that... Because I'm also trying to think of, like, I guess we could play on the Coon turn, but even then, like... Ooh, is that small-time recruits?
Yeah. And it looks like he's running double Runic Egg and Mean Street Marshal. So that's going to be...
So he's going to draw 3 cards. Wow. That's incredible. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, I know we were kind of against the smugglers run in the beginning, but that provides so much value.
That's 6 card draws. Wow, that's. I was not expecting that, even in the slightest. And now he can play equality, trade with all these minions, and draw 2 more cards. Well, yeah, still drawing 2, but not being able to trade with them. Leaving a 2-1 in the field is not the end of the world.
That's going to be a lot of value from Emerson, so I don't know how BU's going to really deal with this.
Yeah.
They just need to pray for a Kun.
I totally think that's it. All right, he's drawing 1 card. He's going to pick up a Doomsayer. That's a pretty decent draw.
Yeah,
draw the second card. It is a Grime Street Outfitter. Do you just play the Grime Street Outfitter?
I'd go with Doomsayer this turn.
Okay.
Definitely denies.
It's definitely a nice tempo play. Yeah. It does mean that Gehenna can't spend this turn saying, okay, well, I guess I'll try and develop this 1 minion. Let's see how many cards he has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So
yeah, he's gonna have to play Fandral and then Nourish if he wants to be able to draw cards. He could also play Blood Mage Thalnos and then Nourish and draw 3.
Thalnos will just replace itself next turn to the Doomsayer.
Yeah. So he'd have to find another card to play, but I don't think he wants to give up his Moonfire here.
Looks like he's opting for the Fandral and hopefully find something else to play.
All right, here we go. Well, he is going to get 2 more mana, so having 3 mana in hand is definitely... Oh, there's an Innervate. Can we do anything off the Innervate? I don't think so.
He's going to drop the Feral Rage here. Maybe he'll Innervate out the Hero Power to protect his board.
Yep.
Looks like not.
Yeah.
Definitely just really close to drawing Kun, so that's how he's going to finish off the game.
Yeah. I mean, I think the play might be to go Malygos, Blood Mage Thalnos, or Malygos, Innervate, Blood Mage Thalnos, Living Roots, Moonfire. Oh, that's definitely gonna put a little bit of a...
yeah, that play would bring 24 damage, so
yeah,
that
I think
actually would be lethal.
Okay.
Play it?
Let's see if he's... Oh, no, he's gonna go for the cool play.
Yeah, he has it.
Yeah, there's no way he doesn't do it. I don't even need to Innervate.
So this is just the classic Druid combo.
Yep.
Kind of just does insane things here.
If I'm going to miss any one combo in the rotation, it's going to be Aviana and Kun, because this is just so cool.
100%.
Yeah.
A lot of decks nowadays are more just straightforward tempo or control.
Right.
But this definitely provides kind of another dimension to gameplay with the combo. Knowing really what to do each turn is very difficult. But that was very well played from you there to get that win.
I definitely agree. I'm going to sort of withhold judgment about that Anyfin Paladin deck, because using small time recruits to get that amount of draw power from multiple runic eggs and multiple Mean Street Marshals, along with being able to just buff them up in the hand, allows you, to thin the deck even more than you could with an Acolyte of Pain or even a Loot Hoarder.
Yeah, that's why I assume they are replaced in order to squeeze those in. And I mean, I haven't seen anything like that before, but it definitely seems very strong.
Yeah. Albeit a little greedy, because you do have to end up using 2, 4, 6 slots at minimum on cards that don't really fit your overall strategy. But, it still gives you some decent minions to play in the early game to contest the board early, along with your bluegills, so that once you get to the later game, you still have your bigger threats to resolve and stick onto the board.
All right, so in this game we have BU on mid Jade Shaman, and we have Emerson on Reno Lock. Now, typically, I'd say this favors the mid Shaman, especially the build that BU is playing. A lot of late game, so even after Reno, they could keep putting on pressure with the huge amount of Jades they could play.
Yeah. And also taking a look, there's a Flame Imp. Oh no, hold on. That was a discovery. Never mind. Forget about it. I was be like, whoa, that's kind of greedy.
Yeah,
But
I do think
it's
the
fine.
Barnes here is interesting.
Yeah,
And
the
I
Barnes
don't know
is
if I would
definitely.
play that Flame Imp into the Jade Claws.
Yeah. I mean, he dealt 5 damage to the face here in this early game, and now he's resolving a Totem Golem. Like, that's just going to be a lot of punishment coming down from Gehenna here. He's definitely going to be able to capitalize on the amount of damage that Bash is doing to him. I guess he feels safe about doing that since he's holding onto Reno in his hand.
Barnes is really interesting in this deck. You typically don't see that. And it pulls a
Oh
Shield.
my god. Oh, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the
It
Maelstrom
doesn't matter
Portal
even the
pickup
slightest.
here would allow BU to clear this rather easily.
Yeah. Oh, and a dragon. Is that good?
It doesn't really get value here.
Yeah.
The only thing I could see it be good against is either Hellfire or Demon Wrath, but none of those are in the hand of Emerson.
Right, yeah. That doesn't really matter at this point. You are sitting on a Mortal Coil, so he is able to handle that one Trade Druid. Ooh, a Jeweled Scarab. Interesting.
Another interesting pick.
Has to be Shadow Bolt here. Yeah,
definitely
has
clears
to be Shadow Bolt.
the Totem Golem.
Yeah. All right, so a great pickup for Bash here. He's slowly edging board control back into his favor, but as we can see from Gehenna, he has an Azure Drake. He's just going to draw more cards. He can even coin. I don't think I hate coining out the Tunnel Trog here either.
Yeah, it's definitely not a terrible play.
Yeah. All right, so we do see the Leroy Jenkins and the Faceless Manipulator combo in hand. Bash is going to tap himself down to 12.
He does have that Reno Jackson in his hand, so he should be relatively safe, assuming there's no crazy burst from Boston. But being their mid-range, it's not likely that they will have something crazy like double Lava Burst.
And Sunfury Protector is going to taunt up a Jeweled Scarab.
I do like the Flame Tongue Totem here to get value out of that Dragon Egg.
Yeah, Flame Tongue Totem is definitely really good here. And the only problem is that the dragon will spawn to the right, I think. And that will you next turn you have to trade away the dragon, the little whelp, in order to get the attack back onto the egg. But yeah.
Yeah, and looks like Boston is going all in, getting this Manatite Totem down to draw some more cards. Now, obviously, it's a Reno play here. It's the only thing they can do. Now, because they did that, Boston needs to be very scared of something like a Twisting Nether.
Right. But looking at 7 mana from Gehenna here,
it's gonna be interesting to see what they do here, if they really overextend or not. Obviously, they won't get punished because Emerson does not have the Nether in hand.
Right.
But they won't know that.
Right. Now, so do you go for more for like a board-centric play here, and go for like trade my Azure Drake into the Reno and then go for a Jade Chieftain, or are we gonna go? Okay, looks like they're gonna Azure Drake first. Okay, yeah. Ooh.
Now I think you try to stick as many things on board as you can.
Yeah. I mean, you can. Yeah, the Jade Claws is definitely going to give you the most amount of power on board, and then I don't think you trade in the egg.
Well, the egg just replaces itself.
Well, yeah, but you'd have to also kill the possessed villager. Like, if you wanted to make that play, you'd have to go and kill the possessed villager as well. Yeah, he's going to go for that play. So that's going to put 2 more power onto the board, and with Bloodlust, that's 15 plus 4, 19, 25, 27 points of damage.
Yeah, and
so
he would be one off.
Bash doesn't know it now, but he is in a lot of trouble.
Okay, well, Boston just got the clear that they do not have Twisting Nether in hand.
Yeah.
So very good for them. It allows them to really push a lot of pressure on board with growing Jades. And with the amount of value in hand, it's very hard for them to lose at this position.
Right. And taking a look at Bash's hand, like he is having just a little bit of an issue. Like, Spellbreaker has to be the best play here, and that's like very upsetting. Like, he doesn't really have a lot of low drops that he can then taunt up with Defender of Argus, but taking 4 power off the board means that he's probably not going to die next turn.
Yeah, it's a very low value play, but
Yeah.
That's really the best he can do in the position. He really
Yes.
just needs to hope for some kind of board clear.
Right.
But if Boston decides to go with this Bloodlust here, they can force him to Jiraxis next turn, which would be pretty good because that means he can't deal with the board in the same turn.
Okay, looks like they're not going to go for the Bloodlust this turn. They're just going to go ahead and clear away the Spellbreaker here. They do still have 7 mana left over, so maybe they play... They could... No, they can't coin out. They have to play the Jade Chieftain here.
Yeah, I
It's their
definitely
best
like
line
the
of play.
Chieftain.
I was going to say that they could coin out the 2 Jade Spears that are sitting in the hand, but that doesn't do anything.
Now, this Manatite Totem has stayed on board for so many turns. It's just gotten so much value for the side of Boston.
All right, so we are sitting on 9 mana for Bash here. It's just hard to see. Like,
they need to play Argus to taunt up, but they chose not to, so it looks like they're just going to die to Bloodlust. And that should
do they? This 5 times, the 15, 20,
they also have the
23,
lightning.
27? Yeah. I mean, yeah, they also have Jade Lightning, so it doesn't even matter. Yeah.
Way over lethal.
Bloodlust is going to win Gehenna game 2 and is going to tie up the standings at 1-1.
No, Gehenna won the first game. They're up 2-0.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They're up 2-0 because I read the wrong part of my thing. Right. So it looks like BU only has the Warlock left, and Emerson still has the ability to choose between their Druid, their Paladin, and their Warlock deck. If you are Emerson, what deck are you bringing to the table?
I mean, personally, here you have to win with all your decks against their Warlock anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But if they want to go for a confidence pick, get the best matchup in order to potentially just get the first win, kind of get themselves back up, feel better. Definitely the Druid or the Paladin are both decently favored.
And we saw that that Tiny Recruits might be able to flood the board early, but it looks like it's just going to be a Warlock mirror match.
Yeah, so he's going with the hard matchup first, get the 50-50, and then work from there.
But this looks like a Zoo Warlock deck. I'm looking at that's a Possessed Villager and Abusive Sergeant.
Well, he's played Reno before, so it just looks like he's a pretty early game version of Reno Lock, which is interesting. It allows him to kind of challenge the aggressive decks more. Right.
Yeah, I think he's just tapping here. I don't think he plays Abusive Sergeant.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Try to see. So that Mountain Giant is going to cost 5 next turn. So the earliest he could probably play this turn 4.
It's interesting to see whether B will tap or play the Imp. The Imp gets a lot of value on board, but if they tap, it allows them to develop that Mountain Giant sooner.
Yeah. And I feel like after seeing a 1/1 come down, yeah, okay, Imp King Boss is relatively fine here. They're basically forcing a removal spell because if that Possessed Villager is not going to go to the Imp Gang Boss, that would be arguably the worst play that Bash could make in this position.
Of course. So this will be an interesting play here. I think I would personally go with the Refreshment Vendor.
Right.
Provides decent board control and kind of smooths out the curve. Next turn.
And you just saw a Shadow Bolt as well. So Bash, you can probably assume that Bash doesn't have a removal spell for it, but it looks like he's just going to go ahead and...
Okay, so the reason for this play is they want to set up for Mountain Giant.
Right.
And this kind of forces Emerson to just, pass the turn, not really develop anything. So they get that down on a clean board, and they pick up the facelifts if they want to be a little bit aggressive and drop that on the Giant.
Mm-hmm. And this also gives BU the initiative here because they get the first attack out of that Mountain Giant. So if they want to go face, they can, and it's up to Emerson here to reply in with either trading or going face themselves. Coin is going to come out just so they don't have to overdraw next turn. I don't know how I feel about that though. I guess the coin is definitely a lot less useful than say Siphon Soul here, which they have picked up.
This Blast Crystal gets a lot of value, allows them to continue to push with this Mountain Giant, and luckily for Emerson, they picked up the Siphon Soul to deal with that, which is definitely coming down here.
Mm-hmm. But now we move closer and closer to turn 7 here for Emerson, but it looks like their turn is just incredibly awkward. Like they have Bran and Spellbreaker, but both of those, like Bran has to come down with usually Kazakus, and Spellbreaker is a very reactive card, so not really the greatest of plays here coming down for turn 7. But BU is just going to go ahead and Refreshment Vendor because that's just an easy play, just a snap play every time. Power Overwhelming coming down. They do have the full combo. No Emperor Thaurissan just yet.
So that's basically what they're waiting for to kind of get the combo ready and hopefully be in the position where they can burst down Boston. But Boston has Bran Zakus next turn going into 7 mana. So that's going to be a very strong play for them.
Yeah, now we're seeing a little bit of an issue with these low cost cards here with like that Abusive Sergeant. Whoa. Do you take the Shifter's Heiress here?
They need to play the card no matter what. So I would just go with the normal 1-drop.
Okay. So definitely the Worgen Infiltrator then.
Yeah. Provides the most value this turn.
Yep.
I don't really know if I like that tap there.
Yeah.
Demon Wrath getting some value, and they heal up the Refreshment Vendor.
Yep. So this just looks like BU just running away with the board control here, but picking up that Emperor Thaurissan is definitely something that BU wants to be scared of, because that is a lot of damage that's about to come down from Emerson here.
Yeah, BU's definitely, or I assume they're aware that Emerson's running the combo, so they should be playing around that. Hopefully, I'd like to see a Siphon Soul come down this turn on the 5/5.
Right.
And then just push the 6 continually. Looks like they're going to trade and then opt for the maybe Bran Kazakus.
Yeah, that seems like their best play, just because they're sitting on like now 7 cards in hand, so they won't be overdrawing. Do they pick up a 10 and a 5, or would you pick up 2 10s?
No, they need to pick up a 1-mana potion in order to prevent themselves from overdrawing, I believe.
I think they have 7 cards.
They're on 7 cards. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Just a little bug on my deck tracker, I guess.
Yeah. Summon a 5. It looks like summon a 5/5 and give your minions +4 health, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Wonder what they take for this 10 mana.
I would transform all. It's probably summon an 8/8, right? Give your.
Yeah, they're so ahead on tempo right now. They don't need to take a really passive.
Wow. Okay.
Potion,
so they take basically 10 mana Twisting Nether as they pick up transform all minions into 1/1 sheep and then deal 6 damage. Whoa. Okay.
Okay. So that definitely gives you the go ahead that they don't have Reno in hand, and you can just keep pushing.
Yep. I mean, if anything, Emerson does have a decent amount of damage on board, and if BU just ignore them and just allow even just a little bit to remain on board, then Emerson just gets a sneaky win.
Yeah, right now they are 1-off lethal with the Leroy Power Overwhelming, so I wouldn't mind seeing them kind of take a aggressive play here.
Yeah.
If they go face with both, they could set up for the Leroy Faceless next turn for lethal.
Right.
I don't doubt we'll see maybe a potion.
I'm trying to see. They probably play their 5-mana potion here and probably go in and trade. Okay. So that was just a very easy play because, Bran's not going to be able to trade in with anything. Kazakus potion is going to come down, and they're probably going to trade with the Spellbreaker. That's probably going to be my bet. Because being able to have that 5/5, it's just a little awkward because they can't really do anything after that.
Personally, I would have
think
liked to set up lethal here, but
Okay.
looks like they're opting not to do that.
Yep. All right. So Doomsayer is now being picked up for Emerson here. Azure Drake going to come down. Draw a card. Sun Fury Protector. Not really what they want to be seeing here, but it... You see, this is like the problem is it's just like you... it's just not helping them set up lethal here. Like they're not really getting in a lot of chip damage in order to find that lethal bit, because they definitely need to deal at minimum 7 in order to find.
They're definitely having a lot
bit.
of trouble.
Yeah.
Kind of sticking to the board in order to push them down low enough.
Right. And like BU has used very little removal spells. They've only used 2. I'm fairly certain. Oh no, they've used 3. They've used 3 removal spells so far. Hellfire is going to come down.
That might help out Emerson a little bit. I don't mind seeing the Tempo Reno, actually.
Yeah, I don't think I mind it either. Acidic Swamp Ooze coming down.
That's another good option. It sets up lethal.
Yeah. All right, they are sitting on Leroy, and I mean that has to tell them something. Like they have to look at that and be like, oh hey, you know, they're up to something.
Yeah, definitely.
Like against a Reno lock, is there any position where you want to play a tempo Acidic Swamp Ooze? Ooh.
And that's just
Well, that it doesn't matter because the game's over.
Yeah, I definitely would have preferred the Reno over the Swamp Ooze because you could save Ooze for Jiraxis, but still sets up lethal and helped Boston get that win.
Yep.
So congratulations to them taking the finals 3-0.
Yeah.
Pretty strong performance.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I don't know. I don't want to draw it down to like individual like card decisions in the deck, but yeah, I don't think I was completely convinced by the possessed villager and the abusive sergeant, especially in the early game. Like coming out of picks and bans, especially before Emerson had banned away the pirate warrior from BU, and BU had banned away Emerson's Jade Shaman. And we saw these decks that were very late game focused that had early minions to contest the board. And
yeah,
it doesn't.
I'm kind of confused with that ban there because it looks like Emerson's lineup was made to kind of target more aggressive decks with the early game pressure and then the heals in a lot of their decks with the Reno and Paladin has plenty of heal cards. I don't think we saw any, but I believe there's some in there. I wouldn't doubt that. So
we did see a forbidden healing. There was one.
Oh, okay. So I wonder why they banned away that warrior over, something like a Reno lock or a mid shaman or a druid.
Yeah. But definitely well played by both teams. Like that was a pretty great match of Hearthstone on both sides. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll catch you guys later.